Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you the best dual blades Driftsmelt build, Black Diablos and Deviljho. This video features the best Driftsmelt builds for the dual blades. We will take a look at both the Black Diablos dual blades and the Deviljho dual blades and see the best for both dual blades, as those are the top two dual blades. We will also compare multiple builds together to see which one is the best. So I know a lot of my subscribers have been asking for this one forever, so here you go. Finally, it is here, and I finally put all the data together so that you can find out which build is the best Driftsmelted build for the dual blades, which is an update from this video right over here, which is the original best dual blades build, which is Burst 5. Alright, let's jump right into it. This is the best Black Diablos dual blades Driftsmelt build. We are going to use the grade 10.5 as a comparison here. If you're going to invest in a full Driftsmelt build, it's advised you're going all in on the weapon as well. No, seriously. If you're going to Driftsmelt something, 10.5, all in. This is where you're going to put everything you got, at least for now, until you get enough resources to get another 10.5 weapon. But yeah, you're going to Driftsmelt something, you're going to take it to the top. This build requires 5 burst Driftstones to get burst level 5. And this has a theoretical damage of 3,778. This is the highest damage, but also the best build possible with 70% crit chance when attacking weak spots. So practical theoretical damage of again 3,778. Highest one out of all I've researched. And you might have noticed this build before, but yes, this is the best build. This build is able to flex with elemental attack as well. You can Driftsmelt 5 times of fire, water, thunder, and ice to make the best crit build possible for those respective elements. So not only can you make the best dual blades build, but you can also make the best melee elemental build for all the other elements by just slotting their respective elements, like I mentioned, into this build. And this build also has lock-on, which is vital for weakness exploit. To use this build, you need the Black Diablos dual blades at grade 8, grade 10 or higher as high as you can, the Coral Puke Puke helmet at grade 8, the Rathalos mail at grade 8, Rathalos fan braces at grade 6, Pink Rathian coil at grade 8, and Kuliyaku greaves at grade 8. You also need 5 burst Driftstones, which to get to burst level 5, which you will insert into all of the armor pieces to get burst level 5. But what about other builds? Well, here's the best Black Diablos dual blades Driftsmelt build versus others. Here we compare the best Driftsmelt dual blades build versus other crit builds. As we see here, this best build beats the other two highest possible combinations. It's important to note that the second build does not have lock-on and uses the Lunar Mask, which is the 3,699 build. That is a very nice number if you take out the 3 and the 9 at the end, by the way. However, again, if you don't have lock-on, it's a bad idea, and the Lunar Mask isn't worth investing into because it's an exclusive item. If you don't have the Lucky Lunar New Year tickets, there's no reason to not FOMO over it, because guess what? Coral Puke Puke is better. By miles. And it's supported by the data. Per the data, it is not worth increasing crit boost past level 2, and you should never build past it. So again, here's the data. Again, the best build is better than that. The second and third one. The third one has lock-on, but again, the best build also has lock-on, but the second one does not. But King of Charmanders, what about lower levels of burst and giving more crit? Well, we're going to look at that too. Here's burst 5 versus lower burst analysis. Now you compare burst level 5 to lower levels of burst and higher critical chance. And as we see here, per the data, this is not recommended. The difference may be small, but burst level 5 maximizes your potential damage. It makes sense. The more damage you have, the more crit actually builds onto it, and the more damage you do. In summary, burst level 5 is a standard and meshes well with dual blades because it is easily activated and maintained. Next, we have the best Deviljho dual blades Driftsmelt build. Again, we are going to use grade 10.5 as a comparison here. If you're going to full Driftsmelt build something, again, you better be going 10.5 and fully committing to it because this is really expensive and a lot of time consumed. This build requires 3 burst Driftstones to get burst level 5, 1 crit eye Driftstone, and 1 weakness exploit Driftstone. This has a theoretical damage of 4,230 against dragon weak monsters. This is the highest damage possible, but also the best build possible with 90% crit chance when attacking weak spots. So there's only a 1 out of 10 chance you're not going to crit, so enjoy those red slashes. This build is the same build as the Black Diablos dual blade build, just requiring 2 different Driftstones thanks to Deviljho dual blades giving burst level 2. That's what makes the Deviljho dual blade so powerful, is that you get burst level 2, making it one of the most powerful weapons in the Deviljho specialized equipment skills that it gives per unique weapon type. This build also has lock-on, which is vital for weakness exploit and giving you that consistent 90% when you're able to lock on to a monster's weak spot. To use this build, you need the Deviljho dual blades at grade 8, grade 10, 10.5 as high as you can get it preferred because you need that 2 levels of burst. The Koropuke helmet at grade 8, the Rathalos mail at grade 8, Azure Rathalos fan braces at grade 6, the Pink Rotting coil at grade 8, and the Kulu Yaku greaves at grade 8. But what about the best Deviljho dual blades Driftsmelt build versus Dragon Attack 5? Well, you can't Driftsmelt Dragon Attack 5 right now, but here's the comparison anyways. Here we compare the best Driftsmelt dual blades build versus Elemental Attack level 5. As we see here, this best build actually beats out Elemental Attack level 5 even with peak performance level 2 taken into account. So even if you Driftsmelted Dragon Attack 5, Burst 5 is actually the best one into it. This is interesting because Elemental Attack level 5 is usually the priority, but that is not the case here. So there's this thing like that's going around where everyone believes that, oh wait, how about Elemental Attack? How about Elemental Attack? Well, Driftsmelting actually changes that. Along with other skills like Kushala Frostwind, Elemental Attack level 5 or as high as you can get it may not be the meta anymore. But that's supported by the data right here. I see the data right here, the build that I present, Burst level 5 is priority, and Elemental not having Elemental Attack 5 with Dragon Attack is actually lower than Burst level 5 would be with crit taken into account, which is actually pretty crazy. But it's also pretty cool to see that there is a different type of meta out there thanks to Driftsmelting. And now lastly, we had the Black Diablos dual blades Driftsmelt build versus the Deviljho dual blades Driftsmelt build. Here we compare the Black Diablos dual blades Driftsmelt build versus the Deviljho's dual blade Driftsmelt build. As you see here, Deviljho clearly wins the battle when it comes to elemental weakness, with a near 12% more damage. However, if we take away the elemental weakness to Dragon, the Black Diablos dual blades wins the raw battle by almost 38%. Which is huge. No, seriously, that is 1,000. I'm not going to do the exact math right here, but yeah, anything that's over 1,000. That's a whole lot. In other words, the Black Diablos dual blades is the best overall build, but Joe still does well against monsters with elemental weakness, especially with higher multipliers like the 150% versus Kushala Daora. So if you have a high multiplier, like again Kushala Daora, 150%, and against Deviljho itself, it's totally worth it to use the Joe dual blades if you have the resources to get both of these to 10.5. But if you don't have both of them, pick the Black Diablos one. In closing, this best dual blades build is very flexible and is the best for a lot of different combinations. I showed you, if you watched my previous one, that was good for every element. Well, guess what? For melee, this one's good for for raw and for dual blades and for a whole lot of different combinations. Especially for dual blades, because with burst is amazing, and of course 5 levels of burst is what you need for this build. But what's great about this build, you could have 5 levels of burst, 5 levels of elemental attack, and it's the best for a lot of different melee weapons. In fact, the vast majority of them. So this build is amazing. So keep in mind though, remember, Driftsmelting is time consuming and expensive. As a player with a full Driftsmelt build, I'm hoping you get your full build sooner than later. If you are giving advice about Driftsmelting, I'm hoping you have a full build already or you have a good idea with data backing it of how good it is. If you don't have any data backing up a Driftsmelt build, you're doing a disservice to the person you're telling, because not only is it not the best, but you're wasting their time and efforts because it's factually not as effective as others. So yeah, make sure you do your research and you make sure you really decide what Driftsmelt build you want. And if it is the best, hopefully there's data backing it to be the best. Please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I hope your Driftsmelts are kind to you in the minds, and I'm hoping you're getting all the drops you want, etc. from all the monsters like your Wyvern Gem Shards, or if you're going after Kushala Daora, those Rarity 6 Daora Horns. Again, good luck on your grind, and I will see y'all on the next video.